Guys, welcome back to the Huddle 3 podcast, the Atlanta Falcons edition. We're going to go over the last 2 weeks on how they played, and we're going to discuss to see if there's been any adjustments made, good or bad, and just give us an overall perspective of the Falcons and what state they're in. So, guys, how do you think we played?
Go
I
ahead,
think
Trey.
we performed a sight better than we did last week. Granted, the Jaguars are probably a little bit better than the Texans, but the Texans did beat the Jaguars, so we got to keep that in mind.
Yep.
But I think as far as the team wise, we played significantly better. The offense looked extraordinarily better. Ritter had the best game, I would say the best game of his career to this point, best game of the season by far, throwing for over 300 yards and a touchdown with, I don't believe he had any turnovers. His rating, I think, was a
I think
118,
111. 111, I think it was.
111, but a sight better than what he normally plays. So uh, there were a few times, I mean, me and Dustin were watching the game live. Brian got to catch the end of it a little bit. Me and Dustin were watching the whole time, and the defense was keeping us in the game. The
Yep.
offense was almost trying to lose us the game,
Right.
which I think in that case, stats can be a little bit misleading because, yeah, of course, Ritter threw for, I think his final total was
329.
329. Threw for 329, a touchdown, 111.2 rating. That's a very good day, I'd say. Not otherworldly, but pretty solid. But I mean, just turnovers, man. They had 3 fumbles, and
That was our first 3 fumbles all season, too, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah, first one was Bijan, second one
Smith,
third one Hodge. Luckily, Hodge got his back, but those other 2 guys, they lost him, and we were driving down the field. We just turnovers when it was killing us. Our defense kept us in the game. Offense was definitely not, for the most part, they were not performing the way they should. But that might also be a little overly critical because we did get the win at the end of the day, so
Yeah.
that's what matters.
I'm gonna go back to kind of the Jaguars game. From what I saw, yes, this game looked a night and day difference from last week's game, and here's the reason why. Desmond Ritter in that game didn't look comfortable as he did today. Okay.
Yep.
Our leading receiver was our tight end again. Okay. So he's all about let's dunk it down. Close person to me, I'm going to dunk it down. His deep balls are not accurate. He either overthrows or underthrows them, or the receiver literally has to stop to find it. So I think the connection is not there. Deep ball. So we do have London and Hollins that are pretty quick to get down there to get open. Just the trust isn't there. Now this game, this week's game, it was kind of the same thing, but when he threw it deep, it looked like he was like, I can do this. I can throw it deep. I can get it to where he needs. But I think the longest throw today was like
I think it was 30. I think it was 32,
yards. Yeah.
32 to London.
Yeah,
to be sure.
But I think it was a little bit more after the catch. There's a 32 and a 20. There's 222. So there's 3 balls that were over 22 yards.
He had a 32, 22, 22, and a 28.
Oh, to Keith Smith,
the little rail.
But that's not really him. He got outlet. If he missed him completely, he was wide open. That would have been a different story. But I think just him getting more comfortable downhill, like throwing it long, would be tremendously helpful for him. Because this week game, I would keep him around if he continues to play like this.
Yeah,
If
I
he
think
played
the
like
play
last
calling.
week, yeah, the
I
play
was
calling
saying-
was different.
The play calling looked totally different this week than it did last week.
They were trying to use all their weapons. They weren't just only using Bijan on a drive, or maybe here and there using Bijan and then throwing it to pitch. Like, yeah, Bijan had not as good of numbers as he's had most games this season, but at the end of the day, that's what we need him for.
Yeah.
And he's a rookie. We don't need to get all of his usage out of him one season. We're not going very far this season. Prolong that. Let him and Algier split the carries like they did today, and go that way.
Well, what you're saying, Trey, is like we found a lot of people ball today. He threw it to 11 different people today, and last week he only threw it to 8. So he's finding other routes to go, and that's something that he could, if he continues to find open routes like that, then he's going to be successful as long as our line blocks and gets him the chance to throw.
No, 1,000%. And I think his confidence has got better. He's probably walking that locker room like big man on campus because of that today performance. So if he can consistently do what he did today, I think we're gonna be in better shape.
Yeah.
I think Pitts or London should be the lead receptions every week. I don't care who it is. One of them two should be doing it. Today it was Pitts. Yep, it was Pitts, and London was right there. I want them
That's
vice
good. That's
versa.
good for them.
Yes, and that's the type of targets we talk about week one, like 6 to 8 targets for both of them, and they both got 7 and 6. So that's what we want to see on a consistent basis as a fan, because we want to keep them around. We are all talking about, in our private text messages about Pitts being potential a trade piece. It's like, no, 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 we don't want him gone. We just want him to be
Yeah.
used in our offense. We don't want
Utilized.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just we want him to be a Mark Andrews, a Travis Kelsey. Like, he's good enough to be one of those players.
Yes.
We just got to have the play call like we did today to be able to show the NFL and everybody else how good he can be.
Right. Are the targets as far they went Pitts with 11, London with 9, Johnny Smith with 7, which, I mean, the way he's been playing, I am perfectly fine with that because he's
Yeah.
he's kind of came in. I almost feel like he's like Pitts came in as the number one tight end, yes, and I think everybody knew that. Pitts is our tight end one. Smith has come in as like, listen, he's like he's like the old disgruntled vet.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, Rook, this is how you do it. And I mean that's good for that team. He's been outspoken. He's been a leader, and I think that'll be good for Pitts because he'll be able to learn. I mean, if Pitts does something like this every game, I'm happy with that. That's what we expect out of him.
He just needs to get in the end
7
zone.
yards.
He just needs to get in the end zone. Him and London both need to get in the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, if Pitts can end the season with 10 to 12 touchdowns after this week, then we're starting to use him properly. But he needs to get in the end zone, and that's the only really negative I have of today's game is Pitts or London didn't get in the end zone.
Well,
No.
Brian, you also said the commentator said that this is a big load of, like, what's his name? Ritter should go in there. Like, we should be excited for him. I'm still not excited for him. I'm
No.
not. I think one good game is nothing to be getting too excited about. Yes, he's finally doing what he's supposed to be doing as a quarterback, is getting the ball out and having good yardage and stuff like that. No, I still don't think Desmond Ritter is our answer. Now, if he plays the next couple of weeks against the Commanders and Tennessee Titans very well, then I think, yeah, he's our guy. But if he struggles in at least one of those weeks, he needs to be benched, or Arthur Smith needs to be fired.
Yeah, and
has to.
realistically, I would lean and I don't want to talk. We don't like talking negative, but it's a simple fact. Is I would lean more towards firing Arthur Smith than I would be letting benching Ritter. We all joke around saying, Taylor Heineke is not the answer. I like Taylor Heineke. Dustin, I know he does too. Trey, we're up and down about him, but I think Ritter needs someone else calling plays for him. I don't think Smith should be calling plays. I don't think any coach should be calling plays. I don't care how good you are. You are a head coach overseeing the whole team. That's my thought process. But Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, those guys are winners, so I understand. But across the board, I don't think Arthur Smith should be calling plays. Honestly, on our coaching staff, there's really no one that I'm like, oh, let him call plays, because I really don't know anyone on our coaching staff that's got that experience. But
I mean,
we'll see.
the only time I've ever seen a head coach calling plays where it actually works out is if you have a quarterback that could be a head coach. Like, we've seen it. I know Brady didn't call all of his plays, but Brady could. If Brady wanted to, he could go out there and call the offense and it'd be fine. I mean, we saw clips of him where he would I saw it on TikTok a few times where he would literally tell Fournette as he's going on play action, like, hey, cover 2, sit right here, because he's able to do that. We saw McCarthy do it with Rodgers because Rodgers can do that.
We saw it with the Rams and McVay with Matthew Stafford too.
Exactly.
The year he had there.
Yeah, and the things that all those quarterbacks have in common is they're all capable of it. They are good veteran quarterbacks. You guys good?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're good veteran quarterbacks that can do that. I'm sure Mahomes does that in KC.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, the quarterback is okay. You guys good? Get it out.
Yes, we're good. We're good.
Are you laughing at me?
No, it's just how everything goes. It's funny.
That's fair. But at the end of the day, your quarterback is going to be the guy that's there on the field seeing everything. So I mean, if he's able to call the plays, let him. But I don't think Ritter's ready for that. Ritter, he's a rookie. In my opinion, he's still a rookie. He hasn't even played a full season. Um, Second year technically, rookie as far as games played, but I don't think he's ready for that. I really don't.
So real quick, just looking over offensive, if you had to give the offense a rank from 1 to 10, 10 being the offense is cooking on all cylinders, one
Yep.
being wow.
Absolutely dog shit.
Yeah. What would you rank them right now, Trey, in for their offense?
For the game as a whole, or for this game as a whole, at least I would give them a 7 because I think we saw what we're capable of doing, what the offense is capable of doing. We saw multiple people get involved. Offense looked a little pretty dynamic at times, just marching down the field easily multiple times. Give them a 7. First half, they were not very good at all. Second half, they kind of came alive, which is what we like to see. For a season as a whole, I would probably give them closer to a 4 because our defense has kept us in the game and in our games. That I never in a million years would have ever thought that coming into the season that someone would have said Atlanta's defense is going to be the reason you guys are in games. I would be like, absolutely not. You're high. You have no idea what you're talking about. Because I mean, I don't think a complete overhaul. However, I think we spent 130 million on defense this offseason. New coordinator with no scheme. Never in a million years would I have thought that. But as a whole, I think I'm just going to give them a 4 or 5 just because we saw today what we're capable of. They've got to do that. They've got to sustain that. And they've got to do that against really good teams. So that's what I think.
So for me, I'm gonna give for today's game, I'll give them like a 6.5. They played better than me. Okay. But for season, I'm gonna give them a 2.5. I'm gonna give them a pretty low. Here's the reason why. This is Ritter's first good game. We haven't had Bijan Robinson, who we were so high on, get a rushing touchdown. Our line hasn't been blocking well, and we're not getting people the ball. Today is exempt because I finally did that, but we still have a long way to go. And playing Washington and Tennessee next, especially Washington. Washington's a dog team. They have a good defensive line. Yeah. We're not. Next week's game could be a complete opposite. We're talking about now. We're like, oh, we still suck dick. We still suck.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't phrase it like that, but yeah.
But yeah, we're not good. We're not good. We are not a good team. Us being 3-2. I mean,
I think that's a little critical, but
I mean, the Packers, we beat them by a point. We beat them by 1 point.
But a win's a win,
and we beat.
It doesn't matter.
It is a win, but we barely beat teams. We're barely beating teams right now, and we have the talent, as you say right now, and playing on defense to do that. We're not doing that. We're still not doing that. And with the Commanders and Buccaneers are now after the Commanders. Buccaneers are now they're playing really well. They will put up 40 points on us. They will put 40 points on us.
I will bet you they won't. I can bet you they won't. Not against this defense. They will not.
Our defense against passes playing good or against rushing we're playing terrible. We have 5 sacks on the whole season. 5 sacks. Against us, we have 16. We've been sacked 16 times. And we sacked we sacked people 5 times.
But I mean, at the end, the most points we've given up this season is 25 to the Packers. And after that, 23, which I think personally, in my opinion, that's a good number to hold in today's NFL. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're not going to hold the team under 20. We're not the Dallas Cowboys. We don't have that defense. We're not going to hold a team at a 10-point average. I don't think that's not going to happen for us. But to hold a team really around that 20, I think that's good for us. I don't think the Bucs will put up 40. Yes, they've got pieces. Mayfield's playing good. I don't think they're putting up 40. I don't foresee that because I'll tell you right now, if I'm down between choosing people, I'm taking the Lions offense over the Bucs. The Lions only put up 20 against us. I'm taking Goff over Mayfield any day of the week. I'm probably taking Love over Mayfield any day of the week. They only put up 25. I don't.
Wow.
You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. The way Baker's playing right now, I'll take Baker. Oh, not over Jared Goff, but over Jordan Love, 100%. Every game they score over 20.
Would you take him over Trevor Lawrence?
No.
Ooh. The way he's playing right now, yes, right now, just right now this season. I'm not saying career-wise, but right now I think Baker.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, and I like your takes, everything of that nature, and we'll put it in the in the podcast, you guys, of how we rank everybody. So you guys can see that at the end of how we officially rank. Me personally, I think um, we're probably around. I'd give them the game today. I'd probably give them 6.5,
I completely
almost
forgot we were
7.
talking about the offensive
Yeah.
rankings.
Yes. So I'd probably give him a 6.5 today, and I'd probably give him a 4.5 for the year. Going off both your takes, I'm not going to repeat what you get or the same thing, but I agree with both of you. I do think our offense still has work to do, and we have pieces that we can potentially confuse a defense with. Having Patterson, Bijan, and Algier on the field at the same
Mhm.
time, they're like, okay, something of that nature. Having Pitts and London in the slot with Holland on the outside, just simple things for us saying simple to kind of confuse a defense with. That's the only thing I want to see offensively of just confusion a little bit. Like they come up to the line, they have to call a timeout because okay, what's going on here? The
Yeah.
defense has to call timeout. They're like, oh, they're doing this, this, and this, and this. But no, I 4.5 for me. I am excited to see what they can do for the next 2 weeks. Washington and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If we win both of them, we'll be 5-2. That will not be bad. But if we lose both, we need to have a different discussion in the front office.
Mhm.
I don't think I can see us going 500. I don't know if I can see us losing both, but I could see us going 500 on it. Now, if like you said, if we lose both, something's got to change because
Yeah,
if even the team that we are right now, we have enough talent on the field at least, in my opinion, to win anywhere from 8 to 10 games. We have that much talent. Now, will it be coached correctly? That remains to be seen. But if we play, I say if we play a full game like we did today, where first half, second half, we play the exact same, solid throughout the. I could see us winning 10 games. I really could, because the defense played well, offense played well enough down the stretch, and that's what matters. I mean, I was telling you guys as we got to that final field goal that we're either going to get it blocked or kicked to the right or pushed right
yeah,
because that's what
yeah.
always happens. But um, it's it's
First,
interesting.
for our schedule, we do have an easier schedule. Okay, we do have an easier schedule besides the like our division itself. We have the Bears.
Division games are always close though,
Yeah,
no matter the division.
we have the Bears right now. We have the Colts. We have the Jets, the Cardinals, the Vikings, the Commanders, and Titans left. That's non-conference. And majority of those teams are having not the best season, especially if Anthony Richardson don't come back for the Colts. But um, I don't see us winning 10 games. But if we play like we play today, I would say we go 500 or not. Not what was it 7-9?
And then real quick before I let you we go to the next topic, talk about defense. Trey, if we had a different head coach, do you feel like we'd be in the same situation or different situation?
I think it depends on the coach. Um, with any new quarterback coming into the league for the first time, um, it's they need more. I think they need more of a offensive minded coach, in my opinion. I don't know what Smith is exactly. He's very old school with his play calling. It's very I formation, get behind your blockers, run downhill, little short passes, which is fine. Um, I think it got a little. I think he got a little bit more success out of that coming from Tennessee when you have Derrick Henry, because you can do that.
In
Even
his
if,
prime?
yeah, in his prime. And they had one of the best, at least from a running standpoint, one of the best lines in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
He comes to Atlanta where we do not have the best
Yeah,
running rushing line league. Now
yeah.
last year they were top five. They were behind, or it was Algier just got over 1,000, Patterson, and that offensive line. They were solid. They were very solid, but they were not Derrick Henry and the Titans. I think his offensive scheme is too geared towards that old school mind of football where you won't. Yes, you'll be in a lot of close games, which would be great if we had a more veteran guy at the helm, in my opinion. So I think Ritter would benefit more from kind of a new age offensive coordinator. I know you guys touched on you really like Ben Johnson. I think that he'd be good for him. Or shoot, was he went? He's at USC now, I think.
Cliff Kingsbury?
Yes.
Oh,
An,
1,000%.
an offensive system like that,
Mhm.
something that's
Yeah.
newer, more similar to something he's going to have ran.
And like talking about that real quick, the reason Cliff didn't have success in Arizona is because of Murray. He wasn't good. He was so injury prone. He didn't really get to have the success like he could be and have in Atlanta. So we'll see. But let's switch off to the defense here real quick. A couple minutes. What do you guys think about how the defense is playing this year so far, or last two games at least?
That's
Uh,
I'll let you
def-
go first because I've been
uh,
talking so much.
you're good. Defensively for me, this game was pretty good. I do think our secondary is our weakest point of our defense, and we're also not getting enough pressure. I mean, only having, like I said, the five sacks on the whole season is kind of piss poor, in my opinion. We're not getting there because, like CJ had and Trevor Lawrence both, they had all day to throw. I mean, and they both can run out of the pocket and find space, but there's too much time for him to be able to make a throw. Secondary, me and Trey were talking about Jesse Bates, how I felt like if he's made a big impact, um, he's a good player. Like he's made an impact, but it's not nothing like I'm like, damn, I'm so glad we got Jesse Bates. Because
Mm,
what he did at the Bengals, I'm like, damn, that's Jesse Bates. Like he's one of the best safeties. He still is a good safety, but he's not doing what he did doing at Cincy because he's always having to find the tackle to make sure they don't score a touchdown or a 20-yard gain, right?
yeah.
I am impressed with one person, Alfred. I'm impressed with him. He's playing really good. And Keaton Ellis, those are my two guys I'm super excited for. They're playing really well, good ball. But defensively, I think our defense is playing better than our offense. I'd give it like a 5.5, 6. How we're playing now. So, but I'm
No,
I'm excited for our defense, but they do keep us in a lot of games. So,
no, I know. I'm there with you. I think our defense is playing better. Like you said, like to reiterate, the defensive backs, our corners just give up big plays. Our offensive line, our defensive line just needs some juice and get some pressure. We need pressure, and we have guys that can do that. I bring them up every week. Bud Dupree and Alonzo Carter. Those guys need to put their hands on the ground and go get the quarterback. There's no reason why they're not. Even Caden Ellis, he should be blitzing a lot of times
mhm.
to get some pressure. He's fast. He's good. I didn't really know of him, but he's good. He's played really, really well. I think he's our best defensive player right now.
He got
If I
hurt,
had
I
it,
think. Or is
did
that
he?
Anderson?
Yeah.
That's Anderson.
Anderson, yeah.
Yeah. Alice has been my favorite player to watch. He's just fast. He's excited.
Mhm.
We just got to just like do something different. We always say we got to have a scheme. We got to find a scheme. Like we have to get one. And if we don't have a scheme, then just stick with a certain one and then use the other ones that we have. But that's just my takeaway. I think we're playing great. Need to make some different changes when it comes to pressure, but other than that, I think we're good. What about you, Trey?
I like those takes. I will say I almost 180 disagree with them, but I'd see where you guys are coming from. I look at it as I think our secondary is our strongest point of our defense, and this is why. Because we are fifth against the pass, right? We are almost dead last in sacks. We're second from last. We're only ahead of the Giants. So that tells me one thing that our secondary is playing well enough to hold teams lower on the passing scale and passing yardage, and
Ooh,
our
that's
up
good.
front can't get any pressure.
That's
That's
good.
how I see it.
That's good.
And also touching on Bates, I know we said Bates is high up there in tackles. That also shows me that our linebackers and our D line, they're not stopping anybody. That's why we're 18th in the run and we're higher in the pass because our up front pressure is not good. It's as Dustin said, piss poor, which I agree with.
Yep. It's
Um,
terrible.
and yes, our linebackers are fast, and our linebackers they're good, but they're not playing good enough.
Oh,
That's why so many people in the secondary have a high number of tackles. That's why you see Bates not being able to play like he did in Cincinnati because he's constantly having to tackle. He can't be. I mean, we've seen it when he ball hawks. He's a pretty good ball hawk. I mean,
mhm.
first game he had two picks, or he has three all season, I believe. So I mean, granted that was against a rookie Bryce Young, so that might also have something to do with it. But coverage guy, we knew what he was going to be able to do. He's very solid for that secondary. I think with him, Terrell, Alfred's been playing better. Okuda is Okuda. We knew what we were going to get out of him, but I understand why you guys are saying that, but I see it the other way around. because of how bad the up front is. Now, not to say that we can't improve in both, because we can, because we have seen lapses in the secondary. Our corners do give up big plays. I think they play way too far off the ball because we play a lot of man. We play man, but we also play 10, 15 yards off the guy, unless it's Terrell. Terrell is the only corner that I've seen actively pressing because he's that good. He's able to. But
we're giving over 300 yards a game. That's the only thing I want to say. We're giving over 300 yards a game.
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of that comes down to the end of games, really, honestly, because that's always been Atlanta's mantra. Or, we'll hold them for the whole game, but then as soon as we get to the end, we're going to go ahead and just forget how to do everything.
And that's that's how we play. Honestly, that's how we've been the last couple. How our games honestly have been. Besides the Lions game, with the Packers game, with the Jaguars game. Now with this game, we're always last 5-10 minutes. We're like, oh, okay, we don't know what we're doing. But to close this up here, guys, let's pick the next 2 weeks games here real quick. Real quickly, Commanders home. We're home against the Commanders, and then we have on the road at Bucks. So the first
I have
game,
us going 1-1. I have us going 1-1. Yeah, that's what I have.
1-1.
I think 1-1 is the only thing we can pick because 2-0 is. I don't think we're not 2-0 worth.
We play? But the Commanders are at home, right?
Yeah,
right.
That's going to be our win. That's going to be our win. And Buccaneers, we're going to lose. 100%.
I was going to flip it. I was going to say we'll lose to the Commanders, but beat the Buccaneers. But just because Buccaneers is a division game, we almost always play the Bucs close. Even when they had Brady, we'd always play them close. I think it'll be. We'll go 1-1, but I think
he wants to say 2-0. I know.
I really do because
say it.
At home, that's where Ritter plays his best. We've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that. The statistic pop up. He's undefeated at home, and that's when he has his best numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The Commanders, they're coming off of. They played. Who did they play today? Or is today their bye week?
They play the Bears.
Bears.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
I think if the Commanders, if they lose, I think we'll lose because they're going to come in hungry because we lost last week and now we're going to lose to the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to come in hungry and I think they're going to punch us in the face because we get started slow.
So you're 1-1 then?
I'm going to go 1-1 to say 1-1, chance to go 2-0. I feel like, but we're going to go safe and say 1-1.
Dustin, you're 1-1 as well.
Yep.
I am 0-2. I think Washington's going to come in there, and
I knew he was a Cowboys fan. He's not a fan. He's not an Atlanta fan.
No, I love Atlanta, but the Commanders are going to come in there, play really good ball, and the Buccaneers are playing really, really well. And if we are 0-2, something needs to change. But guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys want us to do anything else when it comes to the Falcons, let us know. Our podcast will be up tomorrow on Monday, so it'll be up by Monday. Let us know how we did. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank y'all. Peace.